If there's no discussion, motion to adopt resolution 1220-97. God knows we could use all the money we can get for our buildings.
Support, or I'll make the motion for resolution number 122097.
Okay. Motion.
Support.
Councillor Lance supported Councillor Varda's motion. Further discussion?
Stephanie and Mandy, did you have to be specific in your improvement areas for the field house? Like what exactly you're going to repair, or?
We did list, we do have a list of repairs that are needed. They do exceed the $50,000 mark, but if we are funded the money, we could kind of work on a cycle as priority, depending on funding.
Is that the same list, I assume, that we have with the school?
Yes, it was the same list.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Council, anything else? Margaret?
Councillor Lance.
Aye.
Councillor Fountain.
Aye.
Councillor Hockey.
Aye.
Councillor Varda.
Aye.
Councillor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. The motion carries. Katie, COVID plan for bringing lights to Chisholm. Council, unless Katie wants to jump in and talk all about it. I'm assuming this has been approved by our attorney and we're all good to go. So Katie, unless you got something to add to it, it's pretty straightforward. I would look for a motion.
Yep, looks good.
Mayor, if I may.
Yep, go ahead, Brian.
Just briefly, one of the things that's occurred in not that the COVID plan is bad, but just one of the cautions that I want to throw out there. There's some interim restrictions that are in place, those 4-week restrictions, and some of those may affect activities depending on how they're carried out. And so at this point, in addition to what's contained within the COVID plan, I think we've got to be careful that we're encouraging households to stay apart as they participate in viewing the activities and things. Because at this point, the most recent round of restrictions that have come up prohibit social gatherings almost outright, but outdoor activities are allowed so long as the folks don't intend or don't mix with other households. So we've just got to encourage people to stay distanced between households.
Okay. So we'd look to accept the COVID plan, but be cautious of the other conditions associated here. And probably have ongoing discussions right up until the day of the event.
Correct. And those the restrictions that are the temporary restrictions at this point are scheduled to sunset on December 18th.
Okay.
Motion.
For motion to accept the plan. Did somebody make that?
Travis made it. I seconded it.
All right, Councillor Lockie made the motion, seconded by Councillor Lance. Further discussion? Margaret?
Councillor Lance.
Aye.
Councillor Fountain.
Aye.
Councillor Hockey.
Aye.
Councillor Varda.
Aye.
Councillor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Katie. Vern, resolution 1220-98, accept donation from St. Louis County Attorney for the Doherty case. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. And thank you to Mark Rubin for delivering that and the news and the check. Yep, we put in a request for funding to help with that case, the overtime and the costs on it. And they came through. So just looking for a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion on resolution number 1220-98, accepting the donation of $10,000.
Thank you, Tracy. Is there a second for that?
Support.
Okay, motion by Campbell and seconded by Vaki. Further discussion? Margaret?
Councillor Lance.
Aye.
Councillor Fountain.
Aye.
Councillor Hockey.
Aye.
Councillor Varda.
Aye.
Councillor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Vern's second item, gambling permit for the United Way of Northeastern Minnesota raffle. Pretty straightforward. Vern, anything you got to add there?
Nope, just a raffle on January 21st. Everything's in order.
Okay, motion to allow the gambling permit, council.
I'll make a motion. This is Counselor Fountain for the application and gambling permit for United Way of Northeastern Minnesota.
Okay, is there a second for Counselor Fountain's motion?
Support.
Counselor Lance supported that. Any other discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Well, a couple updates. John Cook, starting with that one.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, back on the at the September 9th council meeting, the EDA had presented the council with a letter and a proposal to offer an independent contractor agreement to Mr. Cook to do some work. And so we followed through, and Attorney Lindsay had drafted an independent contractor agreement, and Economic Development Coordinator Scraba and I met with Mr. Cook back on November 19th to discuss the contract and entertain any questions that he may have. And the first thing he told us is that at this point in time, he could not accept our contract or our money. And I give him a great deal of credit for that. The reason being is that we do not have a clearly defined scope of work for Mr. Cook. What happened, I think we may have gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves with, I believe the plan for Mr. Cook was tied into that outstanding grant application that is submitted for that Wi-Fi mesh network. And we're still waiting to hear back. That comes under the CARES funding from the federal government and the Economic Development Authority portion of the federal government. And so Stephanie and I spent a great deal of time actually having a conversation with Mr. Cook, listening to him and what he does. And the gentleman has a talent. I mean, if you look at his drawings and the work he does, I mean, it's just amazing. He has done work for places like Epcot Center, Walt Disney World, Caesar's Palace, Pier B in Duluth, Clyde Ironworks in Duluth. The guy is really talented. And what he does is he creates what he calls talking papers. And so he draws out, you see a lot of investors will go to convince a bank or investment people that invest in economic development. They'll go there with a plan and a vision that's expressed verbally. Well, what Mr. Cook does is he takes the verbal portion of the vision and he draws it out. And his artistic ability is probably the best I've ever seen. And so, long story short, at the end of the day, Mr. Cook is somebody that we could potentially use on a project if we have a clearly defined project, if we maybe happen to get that federal grant or some other project. I look at it as I refer a lot to tools in Stephanie's toolbox, and Mr. Cook would definitely be one of those if in fact we have a clearly defined project and ask him to lay out this project and what it is. And so that's what he does. So with that, I'll entertain any questions.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilor Campbell.
So Bill, how did he come to light for the city of Chisholm? I mean, we approved him, we came up with the $40,000 payment to him. Where did all this come from?
It actually, Counselor Campbell, it actually came from the EDA CDA. There was a letter that came to the council on the September 9th meeting, signed by the chairperson of the EDA. And at the September, I believe it was September 2nd, get that, yeah, September 2nd meeting, the board met and discussed a proposal that would hire John Michael Cook as a consultant to the city, where he'd create an actionable plan that had to do with existing infrastructure and amenities. So when we sat with him and talked about the contract and you know, quite frankly, we don't have a defined scope of work to him to draw his talking papers at this point in time. I think this was part of, I think it started off as being part of that large federal grant that we haven't heard back on. And so again, I give Mr. Cook credit for being upfront and honest and straightforward. I mean, he could have took the money and drawn up a bunch of things that he had in his mind, but he said, I really need the city to tell me what it is I'm doing. And at this point in time, we're not able to do that. So we just kind of took a time out and took a step back, and we'll see what the future brings and if there's a way we can use the talents of Mr. Cook.
Bill, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So there's a potential we may use him in the future.
Yes, sir.
And I spent back when the request was made, you know, we committed $40,000 towards Mr. Cook. That I believe was unbudgeted money.
Correct.
We took it off reserves, right?
Correct.
So you subtly admonished me at the last budget meeting about spending unbudgeted money. My question is, should we, so I don't have to try to steal this 40,000 back next year if I need him, should I be trying to make some kind of a budget adjustment so I can keep that 40,000 and move it to next year in case Stephanie needs him? Since you told me she's not supposed to let me spend any unbudgeted money next year.
First thing, Mr. Mayor, I never admonish you at a meeting, at least not intentionally. Second of all, the way it was presented to the council was that, granted, yes, it wasn't budgeted money, but because of the fact that we, between the taconite production money and I believe it was the taconite homestead credit money, we received about 153,000, if I remember right, more than we had budgeted. So that was the way I presented to the council, is that even though this is unbudgeted on the expense side, that we did have a revenue, which is part of the carry forward that's carrying forward to next year. Now, to get to your specific question, no, we do not have to put anything in the budget because with Stephanie coming on board and the fact that it's going to take her to go through, you know, a year's cycle here with the council and the things that take place. And we have under professional services incorporated in the budget in Stephanie's toolbox, $60,000. And Mr. Cook, when Stephanie and I met with him, he had a whole lot of examples, portfolios is the word I was looking for, of things that he did. And he had books and he had drawings, and he said, well, something like this would cost $8,000. Something like this would cost $10,000. So to answer your question, Mr. Mayor, there is budgeted money in Stephanie's toolbox to handle professional services for the likes of Mr. Cook if we defined, or if the council elects to hire his services.
Mr. Mayor, this is Counselor Campbell.
Go ahead, Counselor.
I can see something like his services being tied with the comprehensive plan once we have a vision of what the city's direction is going to be.
Yep.
I don't know if that money can be put towards that comprehensive plan. I don't know. Were we short on money there? I don't remember.
Well, we funded that now with our motion,
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, just the fact that the money's still sitting there in case we need it. Like you said, we're still waiting on that federal grant. We don't know what's going to happen there. And that might put the whole picture together for us. So, all right.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Stephanie.
Good, Jim.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do you know, or are you aware of any other John Cooks that we could use?
For
What he was going to do for us? That why we hired him?
I wasn't here when the decision was made. It was
Well,
prior
wasn't
to
you?
me. No, it was
Oh, okay.
prior to me starting when he was hired.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Just a small point of clarification. John Cook came about with our past EDA consultants, and I think a lot of the work he was doing had to do with their vision of what they were doing for the future. So I think there's a little bit of a turn and a recouping. So maybe we might regroup later.
Perfect. All right, so we'll move on. Like I said, I was just, I just wanted to make sure if something comes up that, we can at least have a conversation with him if we want to use his services and we're not, going outside of our budget. All right, so Bill, just an update on where you guys are at on emergency manager, director.
Yeah, I would like to thank Police Chief Manor. He has researched and looked at some Minnesota statutes, provided me with some information. Fire Chief Masusi has sent me some information. So we are working on Chief Manor offered to go through the emergency management coordinator job description that was presented previously, and we threw in redline that for the items that would be applicable to us based on his research under the Minnesota statutes and what is required of an emergency management director. So we're in a process of working our way through that, and our expectations would be to bring something back to the council at the next meeting.
Thank you, Bill. All right, we'll move on. I got a big pile of things. Advertise for boards and commissions. Let's look for a motion to advertise for our boards and commissions again, see if we can fill
Mr. Mayor,
50.
I'll make that motion to advertise for the boards and commissions.
Okay. I just,
I'll second that.
okay, we got a motion and support. Just an FYI, I think the HRA only has one position now. This is more for Margaret. When we did our bylaws, we redid our bylaws. I think we reduced that to 5 people. So, well, let me go through it. We do have an opening on the airport authority. At least one on the HRA housing authority. One on the library board. Parks and Rec, there's 3, but the next thing on here is to look at one of those positions. Planning Commission, we have 2 openings. Police Commission, we have 1 opening. So it'd be great to get some of the people, some of our residents on that have some time. If you get a hold of City Hall, they can tell you when the different meetings are held. There might be a way to find out which ones might fit your schedule. They're at all different times, so I won't try to go through that. So we do have motion support to advertise again. If there's nothing else from the council, Margaret?
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Baki,
Aye.
Counselor Varda,
Aye.
Counselor Campbell,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. The next item is to appoint Joe Erdahl to the Parks and Rec Board. Joe, he's one of our police officers. He's also, he works with, he's our liaison, isn't he, Vern? At the school?
He's our SRO at the school, yes.
I'm sorry, what did I call him, liaison? I guess that, yeah. So I think Joe lives a little bit outside of town, but I think in this case, I'd look to make an exception on any rules around it. Not to mention, we include Balkan in our rec programs and stuff. So I think this is a really good fit with what Joe is doing already with the young people in our community. So I would recommend we put him on here for a 3-year term, unless the council feels differently.
Mr. Mayor, I totally agree with you, and I'd like to make that motion for Mr. Joel Erdahl to be on the Parks and Recreation Board for 3 years term.
Okay, is there a second?
Support.
Second by Councillor Varda. Motion made by Councillor Fountain. Council, further discussion on that motion?
Does he live in Balkan then, or you say he lives outside of town?
Yeah, he does.
All right.
Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Good, motion passes. Next item would be accept resignation from Joe Zlodnik. Joe was just hired as one of our new equipment operators, but Joe was called back to, Key Tech, I think is the correct name for it. I can't hardly blame him. Those are pretty solid jobs as far as wages and benefits. It's sad to see him go. I think he was our number one pick. So I'd entertain a motion to accept Joe's resignation and send him a letter thanking him for his short time here.
I'll make the motion to accept his resignation.
Second.
A motion by Councillor Lance and second by Councillor Campbell. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Motion passes. The next item, I guess now looking at the little memo, I didn't need to add the little 4.5 because the memo does say that we're going to take up the League of Minnesota Cities dues and our Minnesota Mayors Association dues separately. Margaret already figured that in. I should have known better. She's pretty good there. League of Minnesota Cities Council, I think that's a no-brainer. They had a lot of resources there for us. Everything from our attorney using it to our administrator using it. If you have ever read any of the emails, you can just about find out what's going on in any community. Read some of them little strings when a person asks a question. So recommendation definitely to renew our League of Minnesota Cities dues.
I'll make the motion to renew the dues for Minnesota League of Cities.
Motion made by Councillor Vaki, second by Councillor Fountain, I believe. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. The motion carries. Second motion would be to join the Minnesota Mayors Association for $30 a year. Make that recommendation.
I'll make that motion too.
Okay. Second by Councilor.
Second for discussion.
You missed the second. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh. Do we have $30 in your budget for next year?
Well, the council voted down my raise, but yeah, there's a little extra there, I think.
Okay.
I was going to take it out of yours, but you're not coming back. Council, anything else on that motion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. And the motion passes. Next items. scheduled joint meeting with the town of Balkan, talk about shared services and services we provide. Two dates there, talking to Administrator Manny earlier today. He felt the 17th at 6 p.m. was a better time. I want to tell you why I agree with that 100%. I like the 17th because as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be interviewing on Thursday, 2 candidates for administrator and 2 on Monday. If we hold that on the 17th, we could call a special meeting directly, like to follow that or whatever, to look at these administrators if we find somebody that we feel is somebody we'd really like to bring here as an administrator. So I thought it would really fit if we had a call special meeting, if when April and I and Adam and Bill and Margaret and whoever else is there does the interviews, if we find somebody good that we could possibly group that meeting together. So that's what I think, unless the council feels differently. I like the 17th at 6 p.m.
Mr. Mayor, I agree with you. I just have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Can you tell me who will be invited to attend the joint meeting with Balkan? Just give us a rundown.
So obviously the council. So, you know, and this is up in the air, but you know, we're providing fire protection. I think we should get a representative from fire department. We're doing some joint services like a recycling area. Larry definitely should be involved in that. I don't know. I think we should invite everybody, to be honest with you. They want to do an in-person. Thoughts on that? We should talk about that too, I suppose. You know, fire and ambulance.
I won't be there. I'm not meeting in person.
Council, we going to have a quorum on the 17th?
I would meet in person.
Mr. Mayor, I'll meet in person.
Okay. April? Adam?
Mr. Mayor, I'd prefer to be I would be at the meeting, but I would prefer to be on Zoom since there's can be a lot of people attending, because you've got fire, you've got Larry, and then you probably have got ambulance, and then council.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do both. I don't know if they'd be set up. I don't know if we can do that, can we? If we did it at Senior Center, could we find some way to stream some of it, Bill?
We were able, with the use of a iPad, we conducted an interview, of which we had a participant on the committee that was unable to attend the meeting that was able to watch via, it wasn't Zoom though, it was, Councilor Lance helped me out here. It was
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
No, FaceTime, yeah, or the
Facebook Live?
FaceTime.
FaceTime. There we go.
Yeah. So my younger counselor colleagues were able to figure out the technology involved and how we could handle that.
I could call one person and Adam could call another person, and both April and Tracy would be able to participate in it.
Adam, are you going to be there if we do the 17th?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm not going to be there on the 17th anyway, so.
Okay. So it looks like we would have a quorum. Like I said, we're talking about the fire ambulance. So I think we could invite Roland if, we could shoot him a quick email, but definitely a representative of the fire department and, Larry. I would like to talk about any other services. Tammy, do we still do like some things shared with recreation with Balkan? I know we did back in the day. I'm not completely up on that.
We used to, when we used to have our summer rec program, we used to do mornings out in Balkan and then afternoons in Chisholm, but we changed that a few years ago. However,
Okay.
they have supported the program every year with $1,000 donation.
Okay, so like I said, we'll include our city staff, but I think our fire department and our supervisor would be two big ones there, and possibly somebody from the ambulance if Roland wants to show up. So to answer April's question. So Motion to hold that meeting December 7th at 6 p.m. Do we have a preference? Have them come to Chisholm? Balkan Town Hall's bigger.
Let's go to Vulcan. We can use a field trip.
I do believe they're ready for us too, Mayor, with social distancing and such there out at the center there.
Do they have good internet if you're gonna be doing FaceTime?
I think we just need a signal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we just call on the phone.
Yeah. All we need is a cell signal. All right. So, motion to have Bill reach out to Balkan and tell him we'd like to meet on December 17th at 6 p.m. and we'd like to do it in their community center.
Make that motion.
Councillor Lance, second for that.
Second.
Councillor Vaki, further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Baki,
Aye.
Counselor Varda,
Aye.
Counselor Campbell,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that meeting will be held December 17th at 6 p.m. with Balkan out there. Unless Bill tells us otherwise. Council, resolution number 1220-99, final levy and general fund budget for 2021. I wanted to get this put on here. Let me talk a little bit about the rest of the month before we go too far. I wanted to put this on here tonight for a couple of reasons. I think the council's ready to move on it. We left the $90,000 surplus on there so we could reduce from a 10 to a 5. I got the sense the council felt that's at least the least we could do in these tough times is try to keep it down. So I sense that at a minimum, that's where we're going to head with that. The reason I thought we should take it up tonight is to get it off Bill's desk. For those of you that may know Bill as well as I do, Bill is going to do everything in his power to get every I dotted and every T crossed by January 4th. With that said, a couple of the other items were to suspend that meeting on the 23rd and hold a meeting later. He suggested about the 30th. So that's some of the things I want to talk about these next few motions. Reason being, just give him more time. He's working with the Springstead Group, whatever their new name is right now, to try and figure out how we're going to finance this public safety building, number of different items in it, the public utilities, all our enterprise funds. We have to do finals on that. He just needs time to get them all done. So I thought if we can get this off our desk tonight, we don't have to have a meeting next week because the budget and levy has to be in by the 28th. So we would have to have a meeting next week, or at least by the, probably that 23rd meeting or something. We got to finalize this. Whereas we can hold off till that week between Christmas and New Year's if we do the budget and levy tonight. So,
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
I'll make that motion for resolution number 1220-99 for a 5% increase in levy.
Okay. Which would systematically balance our budget because we left approximately 90,000 there. So is there a second for Councillor Campbell?
Support.
Councillor
Varda.
Or did that further discussion, Council? I want to just mention one thing. We had our truth in taxation earlier. I don't know about if anybody else took a good look at their own tax statement, but my increase on my own house, I got a very inexpensive house. It's only about a $50,000 house. It's an old house, but my increase at 20% last year was about the same as the 10% increase this year. So I don't know what really happened. I think we would have seen an increase even if we had a 0%, because like I said, I think people's went up a lot more with this 10% than they did with the 20 last year, to propose. So kind of weird. Came up with a new formula or something this year. But Council, if there's nothing else, I'll ask Margaret to take a vote.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Baki,
Aye.
Counselor Varda,
Aye.
Counselor Campbell,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Bill, you can get that in and get that off your desk. All right, with that said, we really don't need to hold this second meeting in December as early as we had hoped, but I'd like to look at later in the month. So I would like to suspend the 23rd meeting and then do a special meeting about the 30th. So just give Bill some extra time to dot the i's, cross the t's, and finalize the year. So council, I would recommend that we suspend the December 23rd meeting. And I would hope you would support that.
I'll make a motion to suspend the December 23rd meeting.
Second.
A motion by Councillor Lance, second by Councillor Campbell. Further discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
You said to add the 30th of December, right?
That'll be the next item, April. Council, anything else on that motion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, Council. Bill, was that the day you had in mind, was the 30th?
Mr. Mayor, I did for a couple of reasons. It's a Wednesday. It falls on our normal day for Attorney Lindsay's schedule for the public access TV schedule. It gives us another day to as you mentioned, cross T's and dot I's. So that would be my recommendation is just to move that meeting to the 30th.
Council, I'd make the recommendation. We hold our last meeting of the year, December 30th, and let us wrap up all our final business. I look for a motion. Same time, 5:30.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Support.
Aki, second by Councillor Lance. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, if I may have a second,
Yes, go ahead, Bill.
I'd like to thank you and the council for doing that. That greatly helps me out. So thank you very much for moving that meeting. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Resolution 1220-100, extend our local emergency. What's the date here, Bill? I don't see where the date is.
The reason, Mayor, we had to put this in there and the reason why it is where it is kind of had to make an assumption that we were hopeful that the two previous motions would pass because our local emergency was set to expire. I believe it was on the 23rd. Margaret, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Because we tie them into council meetings, but being that meeting of the 23rd is now moved to the 30th, we needed to get this in the packet, so we didn't have to have a special meeting. And so the recommendation would be to extend it to that meeting of the 30th. I know the governor's expires before that. If he doesn't renew it, then ours expires when his expires. But if he does renew his, then we're good till the 30th, at which time the council can decide whether to extend it again if the governor's peacetime emergency is still in effect.
Council looking for a motion to extend our local emergency to December 30th unless canceled by governor order prior to that.
This is Councillor Campbell. I'll make their motion for resolution 1220-100.
A motion made by Councillor Campbell. Is there a second for that?
Support.
Councillor Lance. Further discussion? Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Nay.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Last item under the regular meeting, decision allow drive-in movies, Cesar Ortega request. We heard from Mr. Ortega earlier. How does the council feel about this? Or do you want me to chime in first?
I like the idea. I think he's probably asking, I don't know if he's got all his T's crossed and his I's dotted. It's a great idea. I would allow him to have it if he can do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great idea, especially in the midst of being not able to do anything. It's been done. It's been proven that it can be done. As long as you don't have a 40-mile-an-hour rainstorm hit you when it happens. I am going to reach out to him and give him some help to try to help guide him and get him going in the right direction. I love the idea. He's a community member fighting for businesses. It's doable. I don't necessarily know that he's going to get it done in the next 2 weekends, but it's definitely a doable thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate the idea. I don't know. I ain't sure how well I think it's going to work for him. I hope it works really well. I think he's hoping we'll donate some money to his cause too.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Counselor.
Can I refer to the attorney on that? Can the city donate? I thought we were limited to what we can do with that.
Mayor, if I may, Councilor Campbell raises a good point. We've got to be careful how we would expend funds. I mean, the trouble we have is that if there's any charge or donation associated with it, it really isn't considered a community festival type event, that type of community festival event that would support a public expenditure. And so I think that we would have to be careful if we were going to give any kind of financial support. I think we'd have to be really careful.
Council, how about if we allow him to hold the event and we try to allow some of our city staff to assist if there's some minor things we can do for him to try to help him. Obviously Travis is already thinking about if he can get him some help. Main thing he's looking for is us to allow him to use that space. But it sounds like he's have to try to find himself a sponsor to get some money.
I think it's a wonderful idea, Mr. Mayor. I really do. I like Travis's, taking him underneath his wing and helping him out. I think we just need more information, like the COVID plan, the dates, what is he going to be showing, some, who's going to be sponsoring, how, we need more information to make a thorough decision. And I think this gentleman is doing a fantastic job and his heart's in the right spot, but as of right now, I think I would have to say no, because I would like more information.
So, yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm just do you mind if I respond to that?
No, go ahead. No, that's discussion. We got to have discussion.
So I totally understand what you're saying, but if we don't if we're not really paying per se for the event, I don't know that it's ideal that we know what movie he's showing. I mean, for the community, it would be, but I guess I would look at it more or less of if I'm able to help him and if Tammy can help out his cause, I would probably just add that to my report at the next meeting rather than say no. And, that would be my thinking.
Could we table it? So it's not a no and it's not a yes?
Well, he's trying to get it.
November 30th.
So let me ask a question. I don't know who knows this answer. I'm thinking somebody sitting on this meeting knows it. Is that city property proper, that parking lot? Does the city of Chisholm own that parking lot that he's looking at using? Because if he's using it, I'm gonna say that our attorney would like to see a COVID plan because we're allowing him to use a piece of city property. Brian, you can chime in, but I think we've done that where we allowed the martial arts people to go out on the football field and some things like that. And that's kind of where we draw the line. If it was completely a private individual on private property doing this, you know, he follows the governor's orders. But once he does it on our property, if that's our property, then we probably do have to have a real COVID plan, as you're suggested, April. And with that, I wouldn't have a problem allowing him to use the parking lot. You know, but the ball's really in his court. He's going to have to come up with some money to put this together. I don't know.
I'll give him a step in the right direction. I'll make a motion to allow him to use the parking lot for his drive-in movie with a proper COVID plan presented to the city administrator.
Brian, do you feel like Attorney Lindsay?
I'm sorry, my audio cut out. If you could repeat the question, Mayor.
My recommendation or my suggestion was we could allow him to use that parking lot, but I believe it's probably city property. With that said, I would hope you would agree with me that we should require a COVID plan.
Right. I do agree with you, Mayor. A COVID plan, and then I would also, if it's on the city property, say that he should give us some sort of indication that he's got some insurance. The nice thing for his plan is that drive-in events are one of the things that are specifically excluded from being prohibited by even the most restrictive set of or executive orders. So his hot chocolate plan may be in jeopardy a little bit over the next couple of weeks until the 18th, but I think the overall plan is something that's feasible.
Hey,
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Mandy on this.
Mandy, you still on with us tonight?
Yep, I'm
here. Yeah, I see her. So how much of that parking lot does the federal government or Army own? Because they got to own part of that, right?
Actually, the city owns the parking lot, and then the Armory owns, I believe it would be to the west of that. Okay. I don't believe the Armory owns any of the parking lot there at all.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
So Adam made a motion to allow them to use that space with a proper COVID plan. I believe that was the motion, wasn't it, Adam?
Yes. And do I need to add proof of insurance, or?
Yes.
Then I'll amend my motion to add that he shows that he's got proper insurance for the event. Or
Travis has been around enough of these COVID plans that I think he probably could pull one out of somewhere to present to this guy what it actually looks like to help him. Is there a second for Adam's motion?
Counselor Fountain, second.
Okay, Council, further discussion on the motion?
Brian, so if we, in layman's terms, if we copy the COVID plan from the Kiwanis Club, I assume it'll pass since they had to provide one. And then did we require Kiwanis or the football team to show proof of insurance?
In response to the first question, I believe that the COVID plan for the previous events would still be good. I think it meets all the standard requirements. And my recollection is that we did ask for some sort of a proof that there was some sort of a coverage.
Okay, very good.
Council, further discussion? Okay, we do have motion and support. Margaret?
Counselor Lance.
Aye.
Counselor Fountain.
Aye.
Counselor Baki.
Aye.
Counselor Varda.
Aye.
Counselor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. The motion passes. Okay, so motion to recess to a closed session to discuss ironbound lease strategy.
Motion.
Second,
Counselor Lance, second by Counselor Fountain. Margaret, take a vote.
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
aye.
Counselor Baki,
Aye.
Counselor Varda,
Aye.
Counselor Campbell,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. All right, so that motion passes. We will allow Bill to get everybody out except who's supposed to be in the executive session. And then when he's ready, he'll let me know. So I'll leave that up on Bill's desk. All right, Council, I'm going to reconvene a regular meeting of the Chisholm City Council on this December 9th, 2020. We're just coming out of a closed executive session where we discussed the ironbound lease, what we're going to do going forward here. Council, it sounds like our best action here would be direct Bill and Brian to go back and make a counter offer to Ironbound Studios to be brought back to our December meeting for ratification. Based on where we were at in a counter offer to that. So
I'll make that motion. This is Counselor Campbell.
okay. There's second, Counselor Campbell's, Counselor Lance made the second. Further discussion. Margaret?
Counselor Lance,
Aye.
Counselor Fountain,
Aye.
Counselor Baki,
Aye.
Counselor Varda,
Aye.
Counselor Campbell,
Aye.
Mayor Champa.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Before we adjourn, Council, I just, for those of you that won't be on the Balkan meeting, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas because I don't think we're going to talk to each other before then, some of us possibly. And everybody at home, Merry Christmas that's still listening. Yeah, that's about it. It's been a tough year. It's going to be good to put it behind us. Hopefully 2021 looks a little bit better, but we'll be back here on the 30th. Merry Christmas, everyone. So I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn the council meeting. Merry Christmas.
Second for Counselor Campbell's motion.
Second, Merry Christmas.
Okay, everybody all in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 Aye. No nays?
Merry Christmas.
Aye. Merry Christmas.
Have a good night, everybody.
Christmas.